NFL is finally back, and I know I'm ready, but are you? Don't worry if you're not. I'm Jake from the Propfinder team, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to research player props using Propfinder. Let's get into it. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do is navigate to the top ribbon where you see all of our sports, select NFL, then research, and that will bring up this main research page here. Two more things I want to point out is we now have an alt line button. Simply click that. It'll show you all the alt lines available. And we have a tutorial button. So if you click this, you'll see all of our videos, all of our live streams. If you get stuck in your research at any point, simply select that tutorials button, and maybe I have a video on it there. So once you have a player you want to research, just click that player, and that will bring up specific player stats based on whatever player you selected. All of this is normal. You'll see this in the general tutorial if you check that video out in the top right hand corner. I cover all of this, but something new is we have quarter and half filters. These have been suggested so many times. Thank you for the suggestions, by the way. This is in beta, so if you have any more suggestions, keep them coming. Post them in the comments, post them in the Discord. All of our socials will be linked, so do that, join that. Keep posting suggestions. We love them. We appreciate you guys for them. And it just makes the app better to use. So appreciate you. So you select this quarter. You'll see how Jonathan Taylor plays in quarter one. And keep in mind you can mix and match these filters. Not many people know that. But if you have quarter one and home, you can see how Jonathan Taylor plays in the first quarter at home games. If he wins, he's 6 for 7. Oh my God. I'm cooked. You could filter odds on and off. You could see, you could edit the line. You could favorite a line once you like it. Anything like that. You could see how the PF rating's calculated. You could see the average. You could see his average targets. But that's pretty much it for this graph. You could select any prop as well that you'd like to see. The next thing you'll notice is there is a defense tab here. So this is showing Miami's defense in 2024. Once week 1 is done, 2025 stats will be here. You could filter by a category, so passing, rushing, receiving. It's automatically going to filter the position here. So Jonathan Taylor's a running back. It'll filter running back here, as well as rushing, since this is the stat you're looking at here. But one thing I want to point out with the position is if you click position, you could filter all the way down to the RB1 or 2. So if you want to see how Miami or whatever defense your player is going against, if you want to see how they specifically perform against an RB1, since we all know Jonathan Taylor's the Colts RB1, you could select that here and see exactly what Miami allows to the running back 1. Now, if you want to look at wide receiver 3, you can do that. You could look at the wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2. Anything you want to look at there, it's all there. I'm just going to keep it on RB1 since we're researching Jonathan Taylor. Next thing is the run types. So you'll see Miami's run defense, how they play on the run, how many attempts they allowed, yards they allow. If you don't know what any of these stats mean, simply hover over it and it'll tell you. So power run percentage is PWR%. Which Miami has a 7.7 of. So again, you don't know any of these stats, simply just hover over it and it'll tell you a brief description. It'll also not only just have the defense that your guy's playing against, but it'll have your guy's stats. So Jonathan Taylor, how many attempts, how many yards, all of these other stats. And then it'll have the explosive plays allowed from the defense, as well as the explosive runs from your player with 10 rushes, 20 rush, 30 plus, 40 plus, anything like that for any explosive plays that you're trying to research. Next thing is the injury report and depth chart. So since Jonathan Taylor's a running back, you might want to filter out other running backs or filter in other running backs. Simply do that by hitting the plus or minus. And that will show you the stats. So like if you want to see Jonathan Taylor's stats without Tyler Goodson, you could select minus or without on Tyler Goodson, and all of those stats will pop up here. If you want without any of these guys, if there's a defensive player and he has a head-to-head game against them, anything like that, filter out the player. You could also see, if you hit this drop down arrow, you could see why he's questionable. So Goodson has an elbow questionable injury. So yeah, anything there, filter them in and out. You could see details on their injury. Next thing is the depth chart. So you could click any player in purple here, as well as just see the entire team's depth chart. But any player in purple has odds available, so you can research them. So if I want to see Tyler Goodson's splits and stats, just simply select him from this menu, and you will see all of his stats here. I'm just going to go back to Jonathan Taylor because we were just talking about him, just ease of use. But any player in purple, just keep in mind they have odds available. You can see defense as well if you want to research interceptions or fumbles or anything like that, as well as special teams. So a nice tool to have, even if you're in fantasy or something like that, and you want to see who's next in line on the depth chart. It can be used for that as well. So next thing, Jonathan Taylor's splits. It'll automatically filter by rushing since you're on the or since we were just on the rushing prop. If you want to see his receiving or defense or fumbles, simply just click any of those here and you will see all of those splits. Tons of rushing, tons of receiving. I mean, you can see all the splits. And yeah, those are all there. So next thing is running back versus the certain defense game log, which will show previous players and how they have performed against Miami's defense. So Braylon Allen, he was the RB1. Breece Hall is the RB1. Braylon Allen might take that role or 50-50 it in the Jets. But since this was last season, you can see how the RB1 on the Jets played. If you want to compare that to Jonathan Taylor, how you think he's going to play. It's just nice to see history and how Miami has actually performed in a game-by-game basis. So all of that is here. Every running back, it'll show you their touchdowns, their long run, their rushing yards, and how many carries they had. So if you think Jonathan Taylor is going to get like about 12 carries, about 4 carries, whatever you want to do there, all of those stats are there for you. Next thing I want to point out is the rushing share. So if you select, you could filter this by full game or quarter, half, whatever you want to do there. But you will see his recent rushing share. He just had 34, 32, and 29 attempts in his last 3 games leading up to the playoffs. So you could filter by quarter. He had 8 and 8 in the last 2 games in the first quarter. So if you wanted to filter anything like that, you can see his first quarter carry percent, his first quarter or second quarter carry share, anything like that is there for you. Same with receiving, so you'll see all his receiving stats here. Full game, again, half, quarter, whatever you want to do there. And the last few graphs here are all like average rush attempts, average receptions. It's just easy to kind of see these in a bar chart. Just makes it easy visually if you just want a quick glance. You can see he fumbled like back-to-back games. So if you think correlation is a big factor in his game, and he fumbles sometime this season, maybe you think he'll fumble like back-to-back since he's done that last year. Anything like that. So average touchdowns, it'll just show you anytime he scored a touchdown. Average receptions, average targets. So this purple filler here, you can see he caught 2 receptions out of 4, which is his targets. So yeah, those graphs are really nice to look at as well. One quick thing I want to cover is these run types or coverages. If you're researching wide receivers, these stats here will refresh every Wednesday or Thursday. So if they're not there, don't freak out. They will refresh then. So yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to cover. Appreciate you guys for watching. If you have any suggestions, drop them down below. As well as follow us on Twitter, join our Discord. All of that's completely free. The only thing you have to pay for is the site, which if you use code PF30, you can get 30% off. Appreciate you guys for watching. Catch some streams. I'll post an announcement later on my schedule for streams, but appreciate you guys. Catch you in the next one.